Hello, Capricorn. Are we recording? Yes. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, Supportive Oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Okay, what do we have for Capricorn? We got some spice today. We got some spice with Capricorn. That's always fun, isn't it? Isn't it? I'm like, isn't it? We got some sparseness here. Ooh. Now, it feels like a volleying match here. Thankfully, I like where this is going. I like the end. The end is good. Not that you really have bad... Honestly, you don't really have... You have one slight dip, but in your defense, I feel like sometimes when things just go slightly wrong, that gives you the advantage to be like, hold on, wait, let me see. Okay, and then you kind of reform what you already have. So when it goes just slightly wrong, it's not fun, but you seem to do really well with that. Kind of like, oh, it's not a total fail. Let me just put it back together. Let me just move it around. When you're starting off, the whole situation, though, you got a long-term view, which I feel like for Capricorn, like, that's a normal thing. Usually when you guys get involved in stuff, and I know that's stereotypical Capricorn energy, you're kind of like, when you're getting involved with anything, you're already looking ahead. You're like, where am I taking this? Where do I plan to be with this when I get it done? Or what type of problems am I expecting? And how much is the payoff? And how likely is it I'm going to get that payoff, or at least something close to it that I'm going to be satisfied with? Like, you guys look ahead. It's kind of an earth thing, I think. Kind of like, you don't get involved just like, hope it works out. That's not really your thing. You get involved because you feel like the odds are in your favor. Assessing with the success card, the Six of Wands. Am I wrong? No, I'm right. There we go. Now this one, when you got involved with it, assessed it, was looking ahead, the level of success. Now, I don't want to say you looked at this like it was a guaranteed win. I want to say you're looking at this like it can go a few different ways, but most of the ways it could go, you're going to have a good outcome. It's kind of like it's either going to be really good, sort of good, fairly good, or it's just going to be flat out good. It's going to be good in some fashion. There's a couple factors, obviously, that it could go differently. But for the most part, there's a good chance of success here. Like, you're getting involved because you're like, this looks pretty good. You're also feeling a lot of the success is dependent on your attitude and how you handle things, which gives you a lot of confidence. Because if it's in your wheelhouse of control, well, you don't get involved with things to fail. You get involved with things to succeed, so you're not going to let it fall through the cracks anyway. So that's another reason I think you have a high level of confidence, because a lot of this seems like it's under your control, and you're like, well, yeah, if it's going to be under my control, I'm not going to let it fall through the cracks. I'm going to do what I need to do. Your energy is good. It's very strong, very stable, very determined, very don't get in my way because I'll step on you. It's not mean. It's just basically, if somebody tries to deter me or take my success from me, we're not going to have a good time, and I'm not going to put up with that. Okay. Change comes in. Is this good? Because you seem to be handling this well. 'Cause, like, the fact that change is coming in, but let's see. Change with the Three of Wands. Is that the three? Yep. Change with the Three of Wands. Oh, okay. Hold on. Because the Three of Wands is usually like a travel card, something like that. I'm kind of feeling like somebody's just kind of like, I'm out. Because when I'm seeing that person, I'm seeing the back of somebody, like they're leaving. And usually the Three of Wands is like somebody's ship has come in. And yeah, somebody else's, because this is in the environment, somebody else's ship may have come in a different way and moved them away from what you're doing. This is the change that comes in. This doesn't knock you over, because I'm feeling like one person leaves, King of Swords comes in with the Ace of Swords. Somebody else comes in, and I feel like they have a lot of ideas, a lot of information, but this is like complementing information. Kind of like, I want to take a trip across I want to take a trip across this land, this whatever. It's 500 miles, and there's a couple things I have to get there, and there's a couple goals I have in mind. And this is somebody who has information like, I've done this type of trip before, this is where you can get this type of resource, this is how much this would cost, you also have this option, you might be able to get some other funding over here, this is how I did that. Like, this is somebody with a lot of information, a lot of strength, but it's all complementing. It all goes the way where you want it to. There's some things here you're not planning on, but there's things here that help your situation and make it easier, in which all you have to do is look at it and be like, well, if it's dependable, if it seems stable and I can depend on it and I really believe in it, okay, let's do that. You have the Nine of Pentacles with acceptance. One person leaves, a new one enters, the new one has a lot better information for whatever reason. You're accepting that. That's acceptance. That's this card. You're accepting it, and you're very comfortable with this. The reason you're comfortable, especially because you see Pentacles here, there's something stable behind it. So you feel like you can believe. It's not just believe it. Like, I feel like there's proof behind it. Like, there's something, almost like if you're booking a hotel and you like get that confirmation number and you can see like other reviews and other people who have used this hotel. You're like, yeah, they're legit. They're a good place to stay. When they give you a confirmation number, you can depend on that, so things will work out. Like, you're like, yeah, this is dependable. Yes, this is good. Different than what I was gonna do, but it's still melds right in there. It smoothly goes right into it. Helps my situation. I can depend on it. I see why I can depend on it. I see why it's stable. This I can do. Okay, we're good. So this next part, your card is popping in. The thing is, when your card pops in, especially in a Capricorn reading, it's figuring out if it's a good, bad, or indifferent, or what they're trying to say with it. Because this card in the tarot deck is the card that's used to denote Capricorn. It's the Devil card, which it's what it is. It's just the card that they say. But it's like, this is one of those cards, it's usually a teacher card, especially when you get it in a Capricorn reading. It doesn't have to mean there's a Capricorn present, even though it's your reading. But a lot of times when a Capricorn is involved with this card, there's a lesson to be learned here. And it's kind of like, are you giving the lesson or are you learning the lesson? Because I'm getting like, the lesson here is coming in the environment. Somebody has more information for you. Somebody has more ideas and better things that can come your way. Creativity is blocked by the Four of Swords. Now, the reason I'm saying it's blocked is because literally it's on top of it. And the Four of Swords is like a healing card or a rest card. I'm not feeling the flow of energy from this. I'm just feeling like it's kind of pooling here and not really moving forward. Now, on your side, there's like a battle for control. Okay, let's keep going with this. Again, the cards that are, and where this is going is pretty good, so let's figure out why this is happening. Three of Cups. So socially, you're on point. Emperor card, I feel like somebody's trying to get more control of the situation. And the Devil card is popping up right on top of it, which is, it is denoted as the Capricorn card, I know that. But no, I feel like it's a lesson for somebody, but for who? Because more information can come here. Things can go better than they are. I feel like this is one of those things where being a little bit more nice might serve you. Now, I don't know. You got to take that with a grain of salt. Let's remember, this is a general reading, so I don't know. Because like the Devil card is there. It's saying, you know what? There's better things here for you. This could go actually better, but like, being a little nicer to somebody might win them over and they might share more information with you. It's up to you what you do with that. I don't know. You have to decide. They're just saying it's there. If you want it, if you want to find it out, that's up to you. Because what I'm getting is somebody is trying to volley for control. And I feel like they're just kind of, they have a lot to give with the Eight of Cups, but the Eight of Cups is taking that and like walking away from it. Kind of like they're not going to say anything. I feel like for some reason this Princess of Wands is like this other person may feel diminished or almost like you don't want their input. If somebody wants to give you ideas or say, hey, I got an idea, listen to them. Hear them out. Consider possibilities. Remember, just because you're listening to something doesn't mean you have to move on it. You don't even have to have the intention of moving on it. Just don't push that towards the other person. Don't let them know, hey, you can tell me what you want, but I've already made up my mind. Let them talk. just let them feel you have an open ear, because I feel like there's some information here that could affect you in a positive way. It's up to you. It's a general read. This is the information coming through, so you got to do what you want to do with it. You're in control, but I feel like that's what they're always. This is what they're also saying. You're in control here. So if you're shutting down the lines of communication, then you're shutting them down. You're also in control of that. But there might be something here that if somebody gives you more information, you might be able to evolve this even higher, even better outcome, even more. Like, you want more. The most success you can get from this is what you want. You want the best outcome possible. All you got to do is hear them out. Just don't, even though I feel like when somebody's telling you something, you're like, I already made up my mind, so I don't really see me using this information. You can feel that, but like I just wouldn't say it, and just kind of give them the floor to at least just let them tell you what they're thinking. You might find something. Because what I'm getting here is like there's information coming your way that you can use, but you're not really sure you want it. You'll be more at peace if you receive this information and just sit on it for a couple days and think it over. Because I feel like there's something really effective here that's literally going to pop around in your brain a little bit. And you're going to be like, I already made up my mind, though. I don't know if I want to do that. I already made up my mind. It's something that makes the situation better in the long run. There's a moment here that you can decide whether you want to use it or not, but at least hear it and absorb it, and at least have it so that you can make the decision if you want it or not. Just be careful not to shut somebody else down, because I feel like you might not purposely do that, but something might come out of your mouth like that, saying, well, I already made up my mind, but you can say what you want. Because that might take the wind right out of their sails, and they might be like, well, if you don't want to hear it, I mean, I don't want to bother you, so it's fine. Meanwhile, it's information you could have used. Keep that in mind. You got to do what you want. So it's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt. I mean, we all hit these moments where, like, we all have these moments where we're kind of dead set on what we're going to do, and we kind of shut off to other people, and sometimes later on down the road, we're like, I probably should have listened to that a little more. Everybody has these moments. Everybody. The advantage of this one, if this is hitting, is like they're giving you a heads up. Like, here comes one of those moments. Take a moment to decide if you want to hear it or not, because if you don't, you won't. But this could be a better outcome than you thought. On the flip side, if you shut it down, at some point later you will find out that this person had something to tell you. It will come forward is what I'm getting. So you will find out in the long run, so play it how you want. There is the moon card coming up on your side. Like, there's a moment here where you have to decide if you want that information or not. This reading is going forward, I'm noticing, as if this person tells you what you need to hear, and then you're just, even if you hear it, you're just kind of like, I don't know. It aggravates you, it does. See, that's the weird thing. It's good information, but it's kind of like, the reason it aggravates you is kind of like, that might make things better, but I already kind of made plans. But this could be better. But I already made plans, but this could be better. And kind of like, well, could I really change those plans? I don't know if I really want to. But could I? I mean, it would be a better outcome. Like, it's really aggravating, because it's like, it's not a little thing. It's not just like changing the color of something. It's not just like changing it from a bologna sandwich to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's not that simple. It's more like saying, instead of going to the cafeteria for lunch, going across town with a friend. It's kind of like, if you make this drastic change, you're going to have to get a car, you're going to have to plan for time, you're going to have to make sure you get there and come back in time to go to the next situation. Like, there's a lot more involved with it, but it's also kind of like, if I stay here where I am and have lunch, I have a sandwich from the deli, which is okay. If I go and have lunch, I have, like, fettuccine alfredo with ham or something with it that I really love. And that would be so much better. I mean, staying here is good. That's not a bad. Like, I like the deli sandwiches. I like them. But I'd really love that Alfredo with the ham. Oh, that sounds great. Oh, that would be really wonderful. I mean, not to be dramatic, but apparently I am. Whatever you decide, the magician shows up in the environment. Whatever you decide, someone will help you make it happen. Somebody else has resources, and they will make it happen. They will help you make it happen. Whatever you choose is very doable. Talking about it and wanting to do it seems to open that door very easily, but I also see, until you talk about it and you decide maybe you want to give it a chance, that you're not going to find the magician who can help make this happen for you. Resilience and the Ace of Pentacles. This success you're going towards. It's going to be whatever level of success you achieve, you're going to keep that level for a while. So it's almost like, we're going to use that same analogy of the, like, staying where you are and going to the deli, or going out to eat and having your favorite meal. Whatever you choose, that's going to be like what you do for like a couple months. Look at it that way. It's kind of like every day having what you want, different things you really like, things you're really excited about, things that really like, and people hanging out with people you really like, and like it's almost like today you go to lunch with your best friend, tomorrow you go with a family member, the day after that you see somebody from work you really want to work on something with, and every time it's a really good meal, and every time it just really works out really well. It's like that level of success. Versus like going to the deli and like, it's this sandwich today, it's that sandwich tomorrow. It's not bad, it's fine, it meets the grade. It's successful, I'm happy, I get sustenance. It's the same people I regulate around every day. It's nobody new, but they're all good. They're good people, they're cool. But like the difference is if you're going with a family member, a best friend, like a partner, you're like, it's more lively, more energy, more excitement. That's what I'm getting. Whatever you choose, when you go into that line, that's what you stick with for a few months at least. So that's something. The resilience is telling me like it's going to stick. Whatever it is, you're going to keep doing it. But you got to choose what one is right for you. So it's like that's the difference of level of success. If we're going to equate it to money, it's kind of like instead of making a $500 profit every week, making like $800 profit every week. After a month passes, it's the difference between 2,000 and in my brain 3,200. There you go. Did I do that right? I think I did that right. Like at the end of the month, do you want $2,000 or $3,200? At the end of 2 months, do you want $4,000 or $6,400? You know, think of it that way. Are we good? Good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.